Hi, everyone. I'm Steven Stoneberg, the CEO of Bittrex Global and the host of our video AMA. Today, we are featuring StormX, and our guest is Simon Yu, the co-founder and CEO of StormX. Welcome, Simon.
Hey, Steven. Great to be here, and thanks for the invite.
And great to see you again. It's been a while since our podcast, but
Yeah.
again, thanks for joining us today. The Bittrex Global team's really excited about our partnership with StormX. We're excited to see where StormX goes after this groundbreaking new sponsorship agreement with the Portland Trailblazers. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
So for these AMAs, we generally source questions from both the Bittrex Global community, the crypto communities in general. So we'll just go through the list of stuff that's been sort of pre-sent in. But for this AMA, we are going to focus a bit more on the sponsorship deal, what it means for StormX, the crypto marketing in general. I just saw, we were just talking before crypto.com announced another sponsorship as well, in addition to all the stuff FTX is doing. So really interesting space right now. So I think let's just jump right into the questions. So first question, the audience wants to get to know you a bit. So please give us a brief overview of how you fell down the crypto rabbit hole and what led you to forming StormX.
Yeah. I think it was around 2014. My last job, I was an underwriter for a bank, and I started reading about Bitcoin because of Mt. Gox and Silk Road, and it just kept popping up on on the media for all the wrong reasons, right? But I was still curious, so I started, researching the white paper and started reading more up on it, and I thought immediately, holy crap, this is going to disrupt fees, and banks are going to get disrupted, sort of how internet disrupted a lot of old tech. So I just wanted to get into the technology, and so I happened to meet my co-founder, who was technical and also, geeking out about Bitcoin, and we would both, just talk about Bitcoin all the time, and that's sort of how it happened. And we found this interesting opportunity where we're focusing on is where both Calvin and myself had a hard time growing up financially. We were always, working multiple jobs throughout college, supporting ourselves, and always sort of needed a side income. And so we wanted to create this marketplace where people can just come and find ways to just earn more money online. And the reason why we chose crypto is because the transaction fees can be much, much lower to send abroad globally. And so we could scale, to pretty much anywhere across the world pretty quickly, and send transactions very cheap, which makes it very accessible. So yeah, that's 7 years in the making, and it feels like an eternity in crypto land.
Well, I think we've all aged a lot in crypto. I mean, I always joke it's like dog years. 3 years in crypto is like 20 years in the old financial world, which it moves pretty fast, by the way. But definitely agree. And again, congrats on the success. And I think I always love, and I think the audience always loves, to sort of pick yourself up by the bootstraps kind of situation. So well done on being sort of self-made as well. That's great. So the next question from the community is, we all know a bit about cashback reward programs in the, quote, traditional world, but how has StormX integrated that concept to bridge mainstream retail and crypto?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of different angles where we're really unique from some of the other, players. So, the traditional players, there's Rakuten and Honey, which are, multi-billion-dollar companies, have a lot of presence. And then there's also some, smaller crypto ones as well too. So we're sort of in the middle because we have a lot more users, and we're a lot further along. We're just, our team's been building a lot faster than some of the crypto competitors out there. But some of the crypto guys are only using, Bitcoin as a way to, as a way for payment, which is not essentially the best use case, just because the transaction fees can be pretty high. So what we did in 2017 when we created the StormX token back in the day was we actually created a way to reduce the fee through microtransactions, and that's something that we got a patent on, and something we developed because we were using Bitcoin and Ethereum at the time, and the transaction fees were too high to send these couple cent to couple dollar payments, and so we created our own solution. And so that's pretty unique. I think utilizing the Storm token, the transaction fees are much lower, so we don't charge the withdrawal fees to the users. Like if users want like $2 in cash back, we just send it to them right away. So we put more money in their pockets, right? And then the second thing is we really try to fix and improve our token economics back in like 2020. And we spent a lot of time redesigning this. So we created a membership model where the more StormX tokens that you own, you can earn it or you can purchase it from an exchange. Like a great one, like Bitrix Global, for example, you can upgrade your membership status, sort of like airline miles, where the higher tiers that you become, you get more benefits. And so like a diamond tier, for example, earns a 250% cashback bonus and a much faster withdrawal speed. And for example, if you're trying to earn like 6% from eBay, you could earn 21% or like 7% from Agoda, which is a hotel like Expedia kind of service, and you can get 24.5%. So like pretty much any hotel in the world, you can get like 25% off, which is a really fabulous deal. And that's only one perk, right? So we have like 700 or 800 stores right now. We're also launching a debit card where we're at about 15,000 stores, and it just has a really great utility around the token itself. But the more you use our platform, just more benefits that you get, which is really awesome too. And then we've really started tackling into DeFi as well too. So we introduced staking last year, where not just like actively that you can receive a reward, but each week you can also receive a reward every Sunday for just having a wallet connected to your account. And then we're launching governance today as well too. So our users can start making decisions about our product, which is really interesting as well too. So we're really trying to hone in on the decentralized aspect of crypto, and that's where the ethos is. And the users that use the product every day, always have opinions, and that's something that we really like seeing. It's just how vocal some of their community is, and now they have a say on how the product is built and decided upon. So this is something that we've been really excited to build.
That's an amazing explanation. I think the thing, just for people who don't understand or are new to this space, I think what's so amazing with crypto, and crypto is not just about like buying Dogecoin and making crazy returns. I mean, this is actually, to me, a true example of the utility of crypto and blockchain, what it's going to start being used for. You've taken a traditional kind of industry that exists, affinity programs, but you've totally innovated it. You've made it more transparent. It sounds like you're answering your community and not censoring them if they complain. Yeah. Good. Yeah. And you're also doing the thing which I think crypto is great at lately, inclusion, by removing a lot of the friction you might have seen, and you're getting better returns. So you sort of take something that exists, you optimize it, and you take it to the next level using blockchain. So I think this is a great example of utility. And again, that's why we're really happy to have the project listed on Bitrix Global. So moving on to the topic that everyone is really interested in. Not that we're not interested in the project, of course, but the Portland Trailblazers. So they're now featuring your StormX logo on the players' jerseys next NBA season. So tell us, take us behind the scenes. Like, how did this agreement play out? Who approached whom? Like, how receptive were they initially to a crypto company wanting to sponsor them?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. So I think it all started with a tweet of mine. I had said like we wanted to become an NBA sponsor one day, or I think a jersey patch partner, and it kind of just said that it'll happen like eventually. And I mean, it's just me, wanting to make this happen kind of thing, right? Like nothing solidified, or we haven't even talked to any teams. But that tweet led to one of our partners asking me like, hey, I know a guy in one of the NBA teams, you guys want to chat? And that led to that conversation. And then, as we were talking to this team, we were also reaching out to various different teams as well too. And the Blazers, I have a personal bias because I'm from Portland originally, and then, grew up in Seattle. So, Pacific Northwest roots. But they happened to reach out while we were talking to some of these teams, which was really interesting too. And then, their sort of initial approach was like, hey, we know you guys in the Pacific Northwest, like you guys have this great consumer application. Do you guys want to chat? And then there happened to be, the jersey patch opportunity and some of these like, other. So we have like baseline naming assets. We have like IP rights, and we have a bunch of different perks with this deal too. But what really stuck out about Portland Trailblazers versus some of the other teams too is that how willing they were. Their entire team just operated so quickly, and they were so open to having, crypto mass adoption and things like that too. I mean, a lot of not just teams, but just companies that want these sponsorship deals. They just really want money, and they're willing to work with you to just help you out a little bit and stuff like that. They don't really care about the crypto side; they just care about the money. We really felt differently about this team, like the organization and the people that were working behind the scenes. They truly felt excited about having us on board as part of their family, and really trying to help us grow our objectives as well too, and that's why we decided to go with them. So
cool. I mean, we get tons of approaches, mainly from soccer, football outside of the U.S., but all the soccer clubs are pretty aggressive, like trying to get us to sponsor them. But I think the NBA and the mainstream U.S. sports, that's pretty amazing. So, and again, this comes at a time when we're seeing more and more crypto exchanges and firms engaging in the sports world. So, I mean, I saw the Miami Stadium rebranded to FTX while we were all there for the big conference. I mean, literally, it was like American Airlines one day and FTX.
Yeah.
Crypto.com's got major new deal with F1, and literally before we got onto this AMA, they just announced they're doing UFC as well. So, like, obviously, there's huge value in engaging with this community. But when you started looking at trying to engage with the crypto space and getting sports, what sort of metrics did you look at? Like, were you looking at certain demographics and how this could economically translate into more clients?
Yeah. So we actually didn't know, FTX or, crypto.com or any of these guys had any of these deals. We were talking to NBA well before that. So it's exciting to see, it's not just us, but other crypto companies are thinking in a similar direction as well too. And yeah, definitely, for us, like, yeah, we've thought of like football and, soccer and baseball and some of these like, NASCAR, some of these other sports as well too. But what's really interesting about the NBA is it's a really global sport. And it's a very popular sport. It's definitely out there. But yeah, like the demographics also made sense too. In terms of who actually uses crypto. Some of the ratios in terms of like age and demographic, location, income level, and all that stuff made sense. But like the global aspect was really the interesting aspect, because some of the sports, they might be heavily watched in the US, but not necessarily globally. But because our product is really global, I mean, US is, our biggest audience, but still we're in like 150 countries. And so how do we, work with a team that gets us exposure where people actually care about this? And NBA was just a perfect fit for us.
Right. So. I agree. That's interesting. I mean, demographic wise, I mean, NBA makes a lot more sense. We were joking before the AMA, like pro golf isn't quite ready for crypto yet, but maybe someday, or they're getting there. But most of those viewers call it rat poison still. So in terms of, the next question was the crypto community in general has a tendency to kind of go against the grain, do things a bit differently from traditional banking and finance. But do you think there's an opportunity for obviously building on the NBA sponsorship for crypto firms to market themselves in a more traditional way, like, obviously going beyond just the arenas and uniforms, but maybe some of the more mainstream marketing? I mean, maybe golf, who knows, or tennis, like some of the more mainstream stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think, until now, there hasn't really been too many actual products, right? A lot of the companies, unfortunately, have been like hype based. But I think what really made 2021 unique was a lot of companies have had time to, not the scams, but the real ones, right? Have had time to actually build out, their infrastructure, and now they're sort of ready for their marketing stage, which is really interesting. But yeah, I mean, in terms of just actual mass adoption, like marketing, all this stuff too, I'm pretty sure a lot of companies want to do it. It's just, it's been always tough as a crypto company because there's always such a negative bias behind it, right? There's, like a lot of traditional companies are like, hey, are there regulatory risks, or are there, is this a scam? Like, we don't know exactly what it is. I still don't understand what Bitcoin is. And it's just really hard. To have a deal as smooth as this happen with the Blazers was definitely awesome to see, because like most crypto companies can't even advertise on Google and Facebook right now. There's a lot of censorship going on. And so I think, as, like you said, us and Crypto.com and FTX and a lot of these companies start, having mass adoption with, more traditional companies, that'll open more doors, and more traditional companies thinking, okay, maybe we should jump in and start working with the crypto companies. So we'll definitely see a lot more of this now that sort of the floodgates have opened.
Yeah, I was to say, I think the fact that the whole industry has been treated like, we're like marijuana dealers or something, no one will touch us. But I think, now that it's going so mainstream, it's harder and harder for them to kind of not give you a bank account if you're sponsoring the major sports team. So just going back to the Blazers sponsorship. So in addition to having the StormX logo featured on the Blazers jerseys for the next 5 NBA seasons, the agreement also has an interesting feature that allows fans in the arena to earn crypto cashback rewards from various merchants. So that's very cool. So can you walk us through how that sort of layer of the sponsorship will work?
Yeah, we'll work on we'll release the details on that when the actual season starts. But yeah, again, going back to how awesome sort of the Blazer organization was, they know our core goal, which is to get more people using our application. So I know they're very open to, within the fan arena experience, doing various different campaigns to get people to sign up, earning more free crypto. And there's definitely some interesting things that are going to be coming up to get more people signed up, which is really awesome. And our goal is to really show, sort of everyone, not just the Trailblazers fan too, but there's more to crypto than just trading or just, speculating. And that's usually the first thing that comes to everyone's mind when they think of Bitcoin and crypto, is like, oh, like you said, Dogecoin, or just prices, or how much money can I make? But it's not about that. There's so many different use cases, and we're one of those use cases where you don't have to spend money. You can just do everyday things like, buying shoes at Nike or Adidas, and you can just earn some crypto back, and you can use that for whatever you want. So that's, it's exciting, and there's definitely going to be some unique campaigns. So looking forward to that.
Great. And it's a really interesting way for you to engage, truly engage with the audience. So, just digging into this one a bit more. Will people in the stadium or in the arena, so if they're participating in the StormX program, will they be able to choose which asset they receive the rewards in? So, or will there be a benefit if they take it in your native token, your STMX?
Yeah. So our app, we've always had the option to choose like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. We have 6 different cryptocurrencies right now, and you don't have to choose StormX. If you do, it just helps you upgrade your membership even further. So it's an option that people can choose. And right now, the statistics are more than 95% of the users choose to withdraw on StormX tokens, which is really awesome to see. We've really created a great use case for why you need the token. And so if people want Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin, it doesn't matter to us. Just we want more adoption and more people to put money in their pockets, and that's our goal.
And we sort of touched on this. It's kind of an obvious question, but I'll ask this one anyway from the audience. So do you feel that more visibility and exposure for crypto companies like StormX, especially under the bright spotlight of the NBA, will help accelerate mainstream adoption and even normalization of cryptocurrency? So. Oh
yeah, definitely.
That's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, going back to our previous point too, I think the floodgates have now opened. Through this partnership, I've gotten so many more interesting sponsorships or partnership type deals. So there's definitely going to be a lot more unique stuff coming for sure. But the floodgates have definitely opened, so we'll definitely see a lot more of this.
Yeah. So when we go to the first golf sponsored thing, then we'll know it's really mainstream, when it's like somebody with their real, not a blazer with a sort of logo from a crypto.
Yeah, I think. Maybe the Bittrex Global is going to sponsor the Masters, and the gold jacket is going to be Bittrex Global on there.
I think it'd probably be more something like F1 or football at some point, soccer, one of these clubs that I get inundated with daily. We're not quite ready yet. We will get there. But anyway, we're enjoying watching you blaze the trail, pun intended. Yeah. So in terms of partnering, the next question was, it looks like you'll be partnering with the team to launch a series of Trailblazers NFTs. And I've seen other teams are doing this now too, based off some of the iconic posters that have been released over the years. Can you give us some idea of what to expect with these collectibles and whether the success of the NBA Top Shot had any influence on this idea?
Yeah, to your last question, yeah, I definitely think Top Shot had influence for the Blazers. This is something that the Blazers had wanted to do. So they're working with local artists, and it's a charitable event as well too, and just helping the community. So it's something that we're just excited to collaborate with, and when could you ever imagine? I think you've been in this space a long time too. Like I could never imagine back in like 2014 that the Portland Trailblazers or any NBA team would want to do some blockchain project. This is just really awesome to see.
Yeah, no, I think again, like we're just beginning to. I agree. Like the Dogecoin and like the speculative bubble is just a current use case of blockchain. That's not the end game. I mean, I really think that we've only scratched the surface. Even with all the stuff that's going on now, we're just scratching the surface of all the utility and really cool stuff people are going to do. Blockchain is going to be everywhere in your life, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So, in terms of we'll finish up on the Trailblazers questions, and then we'll talk a bit about just general crypto markets. But with the Trailblazers agreement on the books, are you looking at any other sponsorship deals? Any other exciting developments in the pipeline? Also, just in general, you want to share with the audience, like cool stuff we can anticipate from StormX.
Yeah, definitely. This is sort of the peak of the iceberg for us too. I mean, it's just the beginning. We really spent a lot of time building our infrastructure and product over the last few years. So, and Steven, I think our history, but basically, we started out, 2014. Calvin and myself, we bootstrapped for several years. My background, I had a Korean food truck back in Seattle back in the day too, and then any money that we're making from that, I would pour into this startup, so we didn't have to collect a paycheck. And we did this for several years, and even drove for like Uber and Lyft, and because I had a lot of student loans, trying to pay that down sooner, and that's sort of how we started. And like 2017, we were doing really well and like raised a lot of money and stuff like that. But then the bear market hit, and our burn rate was too fast. We'd hired too quickly, and so we sort of had to do this rebuild, and our product market fit wasn't really that great. So, including our token economics and all that stuff. So we had to really try to hone down. And like 2019-10, we just went, just hyper focus mode and just focused on product, and that was it. And then now that since our product is much more refined, our token economics makes a lot more sense. It's now about marketing and exposure and just spreading the awareness, and it's about growth. And so, yeah, this was a great first step for us, but there's definitely a lot more that we have in our pipeline, and it's only going to get more aggressive, and we'll definitely start, making some impact for sure.
And then somebody has asked, since you're originally from the Pacific Northwest, Simon, and you grew up a Blazers fan, so they want to know, who is your favorite Blazer of all time?
Oh, I definitely have to say Damian Lillard. He's so fun to watch, but not just his skills, but
you love them all, of course. That's the publicly.
Yeah, I think he's a great character in general as well too. Like him playing in the Olympics, like that's saying something. Most most opted out, and he's representing our country and trying to bring back the gold medal. And I think the the Olympics basketball, it's definitely a lot more competitive than in the past. Like in the past, like it was just, in the US you're going to win gold medal immediately, but now we have all these players that are international. We have like Jokic and like Giannis and all these guys representing other countries, and it's not going to be easy. So to see Lillard and KD like represent America, it's just really awesome to see, and shows a lot about their character. So
when the Blazers are next in Miami, I think Sam has to host us all in his box. So so Sam, if you're listening, that we're inviting ourselves to crash in your pad.
Yes.
That'll be fun. I mean, how cool is that though? 2 crypto-sponsored NBA teams in a crypto-sponsored stadium. I mean, that's, again, I agree with you. Even last year, you couldn't have imagined this. When you have the CEO who's now done a 180 of the major bank, like calling it literally crypto is rat poison and for criminals. Right. Now here we are in like a major city in a stadium, and it's just unbelievable. So I think, we're just watching the beginning of this like very cool industry that's just about to take over everything. What else? So I mean, that's kind of all the questions about the Trailblazers. Is there anything else you want to talk about, just in terms of, away from the sports sponsorships, in terms of the project or sort of interesting developments for your user community?
Yeah, I mean, outside of the sponsorship and all this stuff, I mean, our goal is just use the application. And so if anyone's listening here and you haven't downloaded the StormX app, you can download it from iOS or Android or Google Chrome extension. And I mean, you could pretty much shop at a lot of stores. We have like 700 or 800, and with our upcoming debit card launch, we are expanding that quite heavily as well too. And our goal is really to put more money into your pocket. So that's it. So if you want some additional cash just from doing everyday activities, just use our application and tell all your friends about it.
It's a no-brainer, especially with like this inflationary environment we're going into. At least you're just going to at least keep up. I mean, with shopping, it's going to get more expensive. So you kind of have to do this. The real stores don't pay you; they just take your money. So we like this. This is a great application, Simon. Congrats on the continued success. I think the Trailblazers, they're lucky to have you, but I think that's an amazing vindication of not just crypto, but your project as well. So congrats on that, and it's a pleasure to continue to work with you guys. So thanks for joining us today on this AMA, giving us the behind-the-scenes scoop on how you're doing the whole StormX sponsorship with the Portland Trailblazers and how that came together. I think really fascinating. Always great to chat about exciting projects like yours. If our listeners want to learn more about StormX, please go to stormx.io. That's STORMX.io. Thank you again, Simon and StormX.
Thank you so much, Stephen.